Hey everybody, welcome to session 68 of D&D Materia. Uh, in the recent sessions, the Crass Menagerie has made their way back to Green Hill to find it occupied and interred by giants, ogres, and ogrekin that are seemingly working or have some sort of similar faith or ties with the up and coming religion that had been spreading well before the menagerie had left Greenhill originally, which was worshippers of the Mother of Bounties, a local deity or matron or something along those lines that has a tale of how she plucked both her eyes out, planted one in the highest mountain and one at the base of the river, and that is how she sees all the land, and that is her blessing upon the land, making it bountiful. The menagerie has gotten into the occupied Greenhill via via their friend Julian, aka the Cargo Man, and some of the escapees that were some of Seb's Grot Guard. While there, they kind of went against what they were told. They made a lot of noise rather than being quiet. They did fell 2 giants, some 4 ogres, maybe a little bit more. Did some investigation around the destroyed and basically turned into rubble Adventurers League. They did acquire a magical preserved heart pendant from one of the giants. They also ran into another group that claims to be associated with Meeker, the sheriff and protective leader up in Vulpine, a city that they helped about 3 or 4 months ago at this point. These individuals are pretty much a menagerie, just like you guys, all different types of characters, which we've just kind of dubbed the Fox Force, that are sent to figure out what's going on in Greenhill, try to get help, but they were also tasked with trying to find the individuals that helped Vulpine, because that's where you guys were sent, and they did. Taking refuge and taking almost like an undercover base over in a tailor shop, Filbert's Fabulous Fabrics. The Fox Force and the Menagerie had been heading out to local squares in Greenhill, interacting with some of the denizens, trying to get some of the much needed supplies for the refugee camps, which have been basically dubbed Green Post by us players, not by the people in the game. And they, with some negotiating down on Filbert's side, there seems to be an arrangement that in a day or two, some supplies will be made available for the menagerie and their friends to take. There is a plan for a letter to be sent, or a letter was sent, and however things will work out. We'll see what happens there. What else happened? Oh, Marb happened to pick up on some shady faith militant folk doing shady faith militant stuff. And upon the day's journey through Greenhill, returning back with the illusionary guys by Al to the Central Bounty, interacting with what seems to be a sister of Bounty's, as she is missing one of her eyes with the intricate tattoos around the scarring. Sermon's Al was exposed to the mind-altering effects, but was able to shake it off. He also observed, as did Rock, through Cat Pebble. The tree is growing. The roots are starting to break through the ground. And of course, the menagerie wouldn't be complete without running into another strange individual. While on their outpost and Marb were running around looking for symbols, Davis and a few others noticed a very vibrantly dressed and very vibrant in spirit, Luxodon sitting on a basically on the street away from the central bounty, but in the brightest portion of the street, seemingly eyes closed, maybe looking like begging. But Davis interacted with him, found out that these individual Sej, seemingly from far away, I think you mentioned another country, Ushabti. He's following the sun wherever it may lead him. After some interactions and discussion that not to trust the faithful to the Mother Bounty, the group did split, heading back to the Filbert's Fabulous Fabrics, where a rainstorm did occur. This rain did leave a beam of light, which seemed to be indication for Sedge to follow, which he did. Upon heading towards this beam of light, which was later to be discovered was the point of where the Crass Menagerie were hiding, Sedge did encounter and observe some of the Fate Militant aggressively posturing and interacting with some of the denizens in the square close by to the fabric hideout. Rather than take up arms and fight, it was decided and led out by Buckley that, seriously, Jones? Hey! He just damaged something, god damn it. The Menagerie would follow Buckley and some of the Fox Force out through the back, and that is basically where we have left off, where the Menagerie has now been traveling for 45 an hour, getting somewhere safe, another building, another hideout, let's call it. It is late, because it was like midday, so it's getting towards late afternoon. The rain has pretty much subsided. You have learned a little bit more about your acquaintance, Sesh, as we did a character breakdown. And that is basically, you guys are free to roll while I kick my cat very lightly. So we're going to attack away from the door. Stop it, Jones. Little tap.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, we were headed out back into the underground kind of tunnely area, or what were
kind of weaving to the tunnels and through buildings and everything, away, essentially, just away far enough from here, because it's not clear at this point why they started heading this way, but rather than cause, as far as I understand, rather than cause a scene, it was decided to skedaddle.
We're fastly trying to get out of that back door, but is that where are we? We're coming out of the back door. Is it like an above ground scenario?
Yeah, so you guys essentially you were in a building, a fairly large one, that was its previous owner was a tailor, or had a company that did stuff. Someone's idea. I don't remember who said it. And that was where the Fox Force was having a hideout. This is unknown to you, Sesh. You just walked in and was like, hey, the light sent me here. There was enough of a ruckus down the street across the little bridge where a little fingerlet was coming through water, that rather than risk blowing the cover or getting into a fight, a few of the Fox Force stay behind to put on the shrews of being Filbert, and this is his fantastic fabric store, while the rest of you ditched and ran to, following Buckley out the back of the building, which led to an alley, not super sketch alley, just larger section because it's kind of winding. This is not a very heavily constructed area. There's not too many buildings on this side because you're getting closer and closer and closer to the water. Here you will find an image of Green Hill, which I have to reiterate, is there's really no structure or organization to how the buildings are laid out. Buildings are buildings. There's some of stone. There's some of brick. There's some of other materials. They have different purposes. You just kind of have to be a local to really understand where you're going. Some of it has kind of created natural squares and natural little meeting points and junctions. However, you guys have been heading out the back, let's call it, back away from the center of town, even further west. And you've been traveling through alleys, jumping into some of the buildings, heading through buildings that are vacant, empty, abandoned, in various states of, neglect. Some may have been vacant for a while. Some of them may have just only been recently within the month or so. And where, I guess another image is there's not a large amount of proper, brick and mortar sewer in this area. It's just kind of where sometimes there's like a natural incline and then some of the wolf fingerlings kind of cut through and then they just happen to be a little hole, so they kind of built a tunnel through and you can kind of run through. There are some natural wells and then there are some stone structures, but basically you've just kind of gone through this natural, in a sense, and natural waterways, kind of coming up, looking around, following alleys, going over bridges for like the last, I don't know, let's call it 30 to 45 minutes getting away as Buckley's taking you somewhere.
I guess I'll ask Buckley. I'll say, "Hey, the sun's kind of starting to get dark. So I think we either need to get somewhere where we can hunker down, or we need to find a way out of town. Because I think, like the new guy here, he just needed to get out of town. So if we could just take care of that for him, then he could be on his way."
Yeah, out of town is an option, but honestly, right now we're just getting space, and then here in a little bit, you guys are welcome to do what you need to, but I'm gonna go back and see.
Back to where Filbert was holding down the.
I gotta make sure my boss and all them are okay, right? Like,
Okay.
we were sent here to find you guys. We found you guys. We're here to try to assist you, but
And we still got to get that stuff for our friends to the west.
Yeah.
I too also have the vague feeling of I feel the sun has brought me here for other reasons than just getting out, as you say.
No, that's good because honestly, I mean, we don't know really what was going on in that square, but if they were looking for us or you or Elephant Man,
Wait, Sedge, I'm confused. You said the sun was telling you to go west, like past the town, and now you're saying you think you're here to stay?
The sun brings me where it needs to. However, the sun
But your story changed.
does not verbalize things.
I mean, when we spoke earlier today...
The sun has its meaning.
Okay.
Like I said, I can't leave as of right now.
Well, if we could get
so
you out,
maybe that's the sun's way of telling me there's something here. Maybe there's something I must do. Maybe there's a reason. Maybe this is my demise. There's a reason.
Yeah, Davis is getting visibly upset.
Demise? I don't think we need any demising. Let's maybe not plan for that.
Yeah.
I don't really know, but
it's not my plan. It's the sun's plan.
If the sun's trying to kill you, then maybe stop following the sun.
Yeah.
So, as you guys are kind of having this little discussion, Del Doradrum will be like, he's sunbaked, but no demise here. Oh, I gotta do the voice. I don't think no, it's not gonna happen right now.
Come on, I'm leaving you.
I'll get into it. It's not like it's been one of those days. I don't have the voices right now. They'll come to me later. Deladrum will say, we need to. We're almost to one of the places that we know is safe, and we'll I mean, Buckley needs to go back. I'll probably stay with you, and I'm concerned that if maybe they're starting to realize that there's people actively against these faithful. I mean,
And
y'all.
aren't in the boulder fields.
Well, I mean, you guys dropped a couple giants.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
now they're
flew 'em
looking
in.
possibly. I think you accelerated things,
Yeah,
or
we
at least made them
should've done that.
mad.
I'm not comfortable leaving, knowing we created a ruckus, and then just leaving and letting other people suffer for it. I can't do that.
Yeah, well, we
Well,
wouldn't be leaving
Kinda
to just
started it.
permanently leave. We would be going to regroup with our allies to the west and give them what we know. Unfortunately, I don't know that we know enough at this point to really leave.
I agree. There's much to learn here still, and things that we can achieve that I don't think having extra allies here helps with. Unless we're gonna start another war,
Right.
bringing other people in doesn't do much for us.
And Buckley will be like, "All right, we're here, guys," and then he'll kind of lead you to. Now it's kind of more of where you're kind of imagining the road will kind of dip down, and it's gonna kind of follow and kind of merge where there's a little finger lane. It's almost like the road dead ends, it hits the water, and it kind of goes into almost like it starts to go a little bit down, not like deep down, but it's almost like an underground portion. And it is a little bit propped, but it's not propped necessarily with bricks and mortars, but like planks of wood and everything. And then he's like, "All right, just in here. We should be pretty quiet for a while." And he kind of gets one of his torches, kind of starts walking in, basically like an entry to a drainage. And he says, "Yeah, the mentioning of war, definitely not good. I mean, a month ago now, all the adventurers failed. We got to figure out something else."
Agreed. But like I said, we need. I mean, I guess it is nightfall is coming, and our plan was to go back out and try and do some more information gathering. I think, right, fellas?
I believe so. I mean, I still think everything revolves around the sisters. If we could find a way to
Yeah, that's
stop
like
them in
daytime
one fell
stuff.
blow, then. And I don't like that damn tree. Something weird about that tree.
A tree?
The big tree and the coming out of the green thumb.
It would be the tree that you were avoiding the shade from, Saj.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just making sure.
I don't know. I don't
That
like
tree seemed a little particular. I didn't really give it any thought.
Yeah.
Is there anything here in town that is well guarded by the sisters, or that the normal public's not allowed around that we haven't seen?
Well, the center of town, the boulder fields, and he's just trying to think. You see him kind of thinking. Center of town, boulder fields.
Well, so center of town. Other than you mean like the central bounty, or is there somewhere else?
No, basically where they. So it's interesting. So from what we've seen, and we've interacted with, the eastern side of town is much more. I guess I'll use the word converted. There's a much higher visible presence of the Mother of Bounty and the followers. They seem to have basically taken over that portion, but that's also where the large giants and them stay. The center of town seems to be off limits just because, well, that was kind of. I mean, from what I understand, you guys went there. You saw they destroyed that Adventurers League hall, and then they just have people patrolling at So we don't really understand why, but it doesn't seem like there's a very large active population there. I would say the shrines are guarded, but that might just be because of all the offerings. I don't know. So it's just trying to piece things together.
Yeah, so maybe we do some recon back in the center of town, but this time not pick any fights.
I mean,
it sounds like we need to find out if they have some sort of like garrison there where there's some sort of like stronghold that, or if it's just desert or what. Yeah, we just need information. I don't know.
Well, here's the other thing you guys I mentioned. You guys were talking about this symbol, right? Maybe that's a clue. Maybe that's something. If it's starting to crop up places, from what I heard.
What was the description of it again? I remember you gave it to me. And,
A 7 with a hook.
Insight.
It's a squiggly 7 with a hook at the end.
Says you've seen it, so.
Yes, I didn't think anything foul about it until they also mentioned it, and there was, more negative activity from cultists, or, religious people.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna reach out to whoever's closest, grab onto them, and
Sure.
then thank Pebble. Is there any ruckus going on where we just were?
Wait, where's Pebble?
She was watching the harassment in the square,
Okay.
and then when they started coming towards us, I had her following them to let us know when they were going to get to the shop. So did they?
I didn't realize. I thought she was with you. Give me 1 second.
Are we still within
Yep.
range?
And I'm sorry
Yeah,
for asking again, but where are we? Are we inside of somewhere, or are we still traveling?
No, y'all are done traveling here. One sec. While the familiar is within 100 feet of you, you can communicate with telepathically. Blah, 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 blah. Additionally, as an action, you can see through the familiar's eyes and hear during this time your death. I think you're too far away.
Too far away?
If you wanted to retcon it and say while you were running at one point you kind of just stopped for a moment, just to check in with Pebble when you're trying to understand that there was a boundary, of your limitations.
Yeah, it would more just have been to see if they actually raided the clothing store we were in, to see if our friends need help.
So what you would have seen through Pebble when you use a little bit of backtrack was you're kind of, in the process of following Buckley out, you would have said stop or something, and Pebble would have circled and kind of landed on the sign and kind of looked down. The militants would have approached and they would have just kind of opened the door, right? Not kicking it in, or they just opened it in, and then about 4 of them went in, and then the other 4 just kind of stood out, kind of blocking, backs to the door, kind of blocking. Yeah. And you would have maybe made out just the sounds of Filbert saying, "Oh, welcome to Filbert's," and how can I serve you? And then it kind of, you had to kind of break your connection.
Okay. Good enough. Thank you.
Okay. So yeah, a visual that you guys are on, you're still well within town. You went more to the west, and you guys were already kind of on the western side, just in general. Central Bounty is just a name. It's not actually in the central of town. It's just central west side of town. Then you guys head further west, and that's where this square was, where you guys had originally, not counting Sedge, Al got his Foxwood carved fox. Marb saw the symbols. Dregnar had a hard time finding merchants that he recognized. Davis interacted with the glass and pot makers, those individuals. This is the same square that when you guys went back to the tailors from meeting Sedge, it's basically across the way from the tailors, which is your hideout. So that then you left through the back, and it's further, just traveling kind of maybe it's called southwest away from this, and now you basically just come to a portion of Greenhill where it's kind of sparse in buildings, and traveling through a lot of, it seemingly, not used section of town in recent days. And you're basically kind of like where a couple of the finger links, because the river slide cuts through, and just like all these little, fingers of water cut through, and they're just starting to kind of gather in one spot, and it's almost like a drainage ditch, and it's not propped up by really like stone and brick. It's just propped up by wood boards, and you guys are able to walk in, as it's large enough in circumference of a hole where you can walk in, and Buckley's going to lit it, and he's kind of taking you in, and then just kind of you went off to the side, and there happens to be like a natural, I want to call it a cave, where you guys are kind of there discussing. And there was like vegetation covering, the entryway and everything. So it seems like
Time of day wise, we're like
late afternoon,
before,
early.
yeah, like not quite dusk, but close.
Mm-hmm.
Sun is setting.
Yeah.
Would I remember where Grog's store was in respect to the town?
Grong's.
Grog's.
Yes and no. If Green Hill wasn't in the state that it was in, I would say you have a very high chance of remembering, just because of your urban background. He was kind of closer to the center of town, and you saw the aftermath, damaged buildings, boulders, giants, ogres, patrols, etc. So you have an idea. You certainly could make an effort to go back there. I know you were voicing interest, like you wanted to go check on your little feather trap.
Mm-hmm.
So
I might swing around. Okay.
Yeah. So Buckley and Dordrum, and I can't remember who else I said came with you guys, honestly. All right, I think I'm parked up there. These four. Look at me. I put them on the side just to help me. Yes, help me. So the four of them will be like, listen, Elkus will speak up. Listen, you guys are safe. You guys, this is another one of our hideouts. We know we can't make you stay here, but we're going to go back and check. Roderick and Dolodrum, you stay here. You know the routine. You guys are easily spotted. You'll just hear Roderick go, yeah, I know. Shrugs his shoulders. Kind of.
Classic Roderick.
Yeah. Just kind of starts scratching behind what would be his ear, but doesn't really have one. Just going, what are you, Menagerie, going to do? Wait till nightfall and leave? Or
I mean,
you still need to get your supplies.
Yeah, that's the plan. Yeah, guys, I think basically we try and do what we did the other night, just quietly, right?
I mean, we don't have to worry about you guys handling yourselves. Just try not to handle yourselves.
Yeah.
I know we've made it.
No promises.
However, if it would be okay, I would like to ask to tag along. It is not very safe to be alone in these parts.
You could just stay with them.
I mean,
by which you mean them?
Oh yeah, you don't know.
Whoa.
Well, yeah, we're kind of two different groups. You don't really know. Yeah, I mean, why would we? I feel bad going out with them too, just because I'm so loud and you look loud and clumsy and not the most stealthy.
That is particularly what I too am worried about. As you see, I am easy to find.
Yeah, that's a bad thing for the nighttime stuff.
Or a really good thing for us.
What do you mean?
If we point the mob towards him and then we run the other way, no one will be looking at us.
If that's something you'd be willing to do, but what happens if he gets caught?
I'm not entirely defenseless myself.
Yeah. That it's up to him. Sesh, do you think you could give us a... I guess, do we need a grand distraction, or do we just want to try to stealth our way?
I mean, I think we want to be quiet, right? Like, I mean, we had Dregnar here doing distraction work last time, and then it still went all crazy.
And no
I think
one.
it could, I think I could make a good backup plan, but I think we should try the stealth approach one more time.
Yeah, no one appears to be following us from what I can see through Pebble. And they didn't
The
go.
stealth approach means that we have to probably the least amount of people.
Yeah, I kind of like. I don't know what I can bring to
May
that
we
team.
split up?
What do you? So stealth team does what? Well, everybody else does what?
I think our odds are ever in our favor in this case to be in smaller groups.
But what is our plan tonight? What do we want to achieve? Where do we want to go?
I mean, it sounds like the center
Your
town.
current endeavor seems one of information.
Right. Basically, we need to see what we're up against, I guess, right? You know, in terms of force? I don't know.
Can we check out some of those?
Here, is there another like safe house that we can go to until it's nighttime, and we can go like do shenanigans at night where we be more stealthy, other than escaping from the mob?
Buckley will say, well, honestly, we just came here because this is one of the safer ones, and he'll kind of remove like a portion of what looks kind of like vegetation that's been kind of just waterlogged and soaked and just kind of seemed like a splat inside the cave, and he kind of moves it, and there's a couple little containers or so of just some supplies, nothing crazy, but there's some food, there's some oil for a lantern and all that, and he's like, well, it just happens to be a good little safe place that we know people are not going to well, they haven't been, that's why we went here. We really don't have many safe houses. Elkas and Adaka and I have kind of figured out paths to take through buildings and sewerways and all that. But going to your point, if you're here for information, again, I think if you're up to it, there seems to be a much more accepting influence on the eastern side.
So you're suggesting we go there and check that out?
I'm suggesting if you're crazy, you would go there, but you guys want information, maybe you can talk with people. Maybe
Do you think nighttime would be the right time for that?
they do tend to.
No, people go to sleep at night. Yeah.
Any local taverns?
Well, that's the thing. It's still alive on that side of town. From what we've seen, there's some sort of gathering or worship going on at all hours, actually. They seem to. So maybe you'll find some people willing to talk. Or
I want to see what magic is going on, if any, in that area. That sounds like a good place to go. Which point in the right direction, and I'll start walking.
I mean, there's really not a right direction. There's only a follow the water further or come back the way you came in. So he's like, just kind of points out the way that y'all came in. He's like, well, that way.
That way we go. Let's go to the sketchy part of town.
Oh, okay.
I'm in for some, if it's constant worship, and with what we've seen with the creepy eyes and everything, I want to, maybe we can pinpoint some
We all know when Rock wants to go somewhere, he'll either go by himself or we go with him. So,
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Sesh, you're welcome to come. Definitely have a lot of questions, but just know that I'll probably push it towards the mob the first chance we get. Just being honest, yeah, just we're kind of that person here.
Do you think you could actually push someone as big as him, Marv?
I mean, I'll have to do a few cuts around the ankles, but for sure,
Yeah, that would do
give me
it.
maybe like
That would do
a
it.
couple of minutes.
If I were to be so rude, but I don't think I would feel any push, but a cut does sound pretty forbearing.
I will
I
say
bear you
he's.
no ill will, but
I
I'm willing to come to talk to commoners.
I think he's kidding, but I can't promise he's kidding.
Dragnar will just pop up. I don't think he's kidding, and I can help with the pushing, but something we're forgetting here. And I'll just point to Saj. He was sitting outside of one of those shrines, right?
Yeah.
And they didn't go after him. And he's clearly not with their.
I wouldn't say that because he was covered in like tomato juice or like rotten vegetables. So
I'm gonna like laugh heartily and kind of give them a palm and just say, I love the jokes, but I am not much of a gruff physical type myself. I might be large, so
So
I
what?
don't
You
think
said you
it
could
is
handle
also very
yourself.
wise to
I mean,
rough with me in kind anyway. I have a
honestly, if I've learned anything from our travels, is that if someone has enough patience to sit there and get tomatoed, they probably know they can stomp on any single person that's throwing tomatoes at them. So
the grievance of
I
common
am
people do
interested.
disturb me, but
Marv, you'll just see Dragnar nodding, like, that's what I was thinking.
Where
Like, if
did?
he's willing to just get pelted by fruit, I'm sure he can handle himself.
I'm glad you called it fruit.
And hey, free distraction.
Where did you learn that?
All
Marv?
I'm saying.
I don't remember that part.
The what?
Nah, I'm just being. Where did you learn that, Marv? I don't remember anybody getting tomatoed.
So there's this little town far above the continents by the mountains, and they
Alright.
have this fairy tale about this peasant. I'll tell it to you one time. But you know of that fairy tale, and everyone throws tomatoes at him in town, and he turns out to be a powerful wizard, and they turns them all into cactus or something like that. They have to live in forever curse, like something like that. You probably heard about it.
No, well, I mean, I didn't really go to school, so I didn't learn a lot of that stuff.
You'll
It's like
just,
what they teach kids how like to be nice to, or don't be a dick to like strangers. You know, the closet wizard deceiving the town and getting turned into cactus story. It's okay. I'll tell it to you one night by the
I've read that one.
campfires.
That
It's pretty
goes-
funny.
Doldrum
That
will
is something
pipe
I
up.
did find pretty strange. That until today, the people of this town were fairly okay with my presence. Today it seems particularly volatile. I'm not sure why that is, but I'm coming to find out now. I guess that. So I think our intentions do align anyway. Distraction or not, whatever it may will. I'm prepared.
Marv, it's not cactuses, it's turnips. And then
Turnips?
mountain goats ate the turnips, so the wizard killed the people that made fun of him.
Nah. There's the other story about the leprechaun. Nah, you're confusing, sir. Does the turnips? No.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
It's the other way around.
All right.
Oh no! Wait, over something like that. You know, that's for little G's, whatever that's called. We get.
So, good luck. Try not to kill anything. Don't make noise.
No.
Is everyone still standing? Like when I said I was heading in that direction,
We're all following you, I think.
Yeah, we're all.
And then kind of now like the
We know not to try to stop.
Doldrum and Roderick kind of like stop, and they just like there's like at the entryway, the waterway, and they're like.
Yeah, I'll like look back at him and just like shrug and Just keep walking. Just like, eh.
Yeah. See
This is
ya.
a walking, talking situation.
No. Okay. So, Marb and so go ahead and give me a survival check. I'm taking into account your urban stuff.
Can Dragnar help?
Yeah, Dragnar will assist you, so you can do it at advantage. Just to see how well you can. Oh boy.
Yeah. Plus, I figured navigating the city, he's been here longer than any of us. So.
You said advantage? Too?
Yeah, you do it one more time. Yep.
Noise.
Okay, cool.
Oh.
Budget. All right. It takes you. It takes about 5 minutes to figure out where you guys were sent, and then you just kind of remember loosely. You may go through a couple of the wrong buildings that have been abandoned. You kind of go to one, kind of shift it. That one's locked. You're like, walk over to the other one. There you go. Open. Walk through. Within the course of, as dusk is starting to hit, you manage to kind of navigate around to quite a few blocks or so away from where the Filbert's fabulous fabrics are. But then you kind of skirt your way eastward into and then start approaching center of town. Anyone looking for anything? Anyone doing anything while you guys are walking and talking, or are you just getting to the center of town as quickly as you guys can?
I'm going to do the thingy where I can swap out a spell.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I'm gonna swap in detect magic.
Okay.
And I'll swap out web.
Okay.
And I'm gonna cast detect magic, and I'm gonna be trying to look to see those like symbols people keep mentioning. See if I see any like that.
Sure.
As I'm walking. Not so much looking for them, but seeing if I see anything magical. So if the symbols happen to be magical, then cool. If not,
Yeah.
notice. Or just any sort of like weird auras or concentrated magic in any area we may be headed towards.
Gotcha. So where you're casting this once you get to center of town, or kind of like to the quote unquote center? Or...
When we're a little ways out, so I can I want to use it as we approach. If I have to recast it twice to keep it up, that's not a problem.
Yeah. I mean, you can keep it up going infinitely if you're just willing to ritual it. So, interesting enough, while walking and the group is kind of discussing, you get the typical pings of magic aura off your ally, so you know the spell has taken effect. You do notice that Sej, there is a glow coming from a concealed item somewhere on his person, and then his really baggy, puffy harem pants are just glowing. However, the amount of magic that you're picking up is just walking the streets and kind of looking for some sort of ping, really not hitting it. Keeping in mind the limitations of it's like a 30-foot visual for you.
Yeah.
So as you guys are kind of skirting through, following Marb and Dragnar, really nothing magical hits you yet.
Okay, and if I look kind of skywards to anything, I don't see any lines or it's kind of like we have.
Yeah, I get what you're looking for, like an aurora or something, or some sort of hint. Honestly, it's not yet. I would say no. You don't see anything.
That's fine. That's good. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna be. My walking will definitely look kind of funny because I'm more like, look at this building and then look in this window, look at the this tree or whatever. Anything we pass to see if I get
Yeah. Well, let me see if, because I might alter something depending on what everyone else does. So let me know. Rock, I'll let you know. Who else is doing anything while you guys are kind of
looking out for bullies, looking out for those big assholes who push me around.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Ooh, pretty good. 23.
23?
Yes.
Okay. So at one point when you guys are following each other and Rock is kind of getting distracted, kind of looking around, Davis, you just pull Rock kind of close to you and you're like, and you just kind of hear, This is just the most. I hate this city. I just hear like a group of them kind of talking. Yeah, let's just loop back. Mm, I'm hungry. Yeah, hungry. And he's definitely deeper tone voices, probably along the line like ogres, though speaking common to an extent.
I will not have had my glaive out, but then I will, whoosh and kind of like point in that direction.
Gotcha. So
then
Saj,
Well,
real
and then
quick,
sorry, yeah, but and then I'll just keep walking with it like as a walking stick. But go ahead.
yeah. So Saj, as you see Davis kind of point and kind of extend his arm, a set of like white, almost like stars, kind of out, whitish blue, and then the lines kind of connect, almost looking like a contained constellation. About how long your glaive is? What, 6 feet
Yeah, like
long?
right
I
around
think.
6 feet. Yep.
Yeah, something like 6 feet of like this like condensed constellation just kind of forms in his hands, and then this gnarly flame and star themed glaive just kind of appears in his hand.
Interesting.
Very magic.
Just
You don't
look at
even
it with
know.
yeah. I think I'm just gonna like get that glassy eyed marvel and just not really say anything, just be like, wow. That was cool.
Yeah. So if you should have access to I mean, you saw it in the artwork, but if you want me to give you a refresher, I can send the artwork for David.
I do pretty much remember, I think, the gist of what it looks like. I can kind of get a good.
I can link to
Yeah.
the item page too. I'll link to the item page in materia.
It's a dope. So yeah.
So when Davis pulls that out, that would light up pretty bright for me, right?
Oh yeah,
Briefly.
Yeah, and maybe the aura is more intense than you remember it.
Okay, so when that happens, just as a, because I don't know Sedge very well, I'll just kind of whisper to him. I'll be like, yeah, he's Davis here is our strongest magic user. This is like you don't want to mess with that guy, man. He can stab you. He's got magic. Oof.
Are you doing this in like a hushed voice to him?
Yeah, just as a guy, I'll just kind of slow down to make cool. Once I see your weapon will flare up, and I'll kind of look at Sedge, and then yeah, I'll just slow down and walk beside him and kind of just nudge, nudge.
Just for fun, go ahead. I just like seeing how you roll. Go ahead and roll me a deception check.
Two total.
Two total.
God.
Hell yeah.
You can read right through them, but it's up to you how you wish to act.
I think I'm gonna nom. I think I'm gonna nod calmly. Nod. And just. See, I don't know how I would react.
That's fine.
Funny though.
Yeah, it's however you wish. Like, but I'm just, your insight's a passive 17. You read them like a book.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna say, what a magnanimous creature.
Very cool.
Very nice. I'm just gonna kind of like cheekily smile under my trunk.
I can see it.
I know something you don't know.
Yeah.
I
Very
don't
cool.
really. I'm just comical.
Yep. Marb and Al, you start, and I guess, yeah, Marb and Al, you would hear the voices kind of not echoing, but kind of traveling kind of off to the distance. It's the same, like they're the deep voices, very much associated with larger individuals, so probably ogres. And you just hear them kind of complaining about the patrol and that they're hungry and that they're going to go back to, back and get some food. And I guess either of you two, can you guys give me perception checks? I guess actually Sag.
Can I cast see invisibility on myself before I did that endurance check?
Perception, yeah. Actually, Sag, you hear this too, as you're kind of like grinning.
Not to be the testy type, but I kind of want to before Rock walks faster than my hooves can take me, probably.
Nope.
Let's be honest. I think I'm gonna like crassly, while like I give that slight smile, just kind of like with the comical nature, but I'm gonna place my palm on his shoulder before he walks off,
Okay.
sort of to see his reaction, just to gauge, and I also want to cast guidance on him.
To who? Is it Rock or
To
Mara?
Rock, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna touch his shoulder just to give him guidance, just to see, like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Make quick
What?
friends, make quick enemies, see what happens.
Gotcha.
I kind of turn and look and yes. Can I help you? Is there something?
You feel this. It's a very comforting, where like it was hands on his shoulder. Your shoulder just like like nicely sunny spring day. Just for a sec, you get that sensation on your shoulder.
Like I touched your shoulder and a dandelion popped out.
And then I ate the dandelion.
Yeah, he would eat the dandelion.
I would 100% eat the dandelion. Yeah. Hey, you seem nice. Have you met Pebble? Pebble.
You bamfer back.
Oh yeah, I guess. Ooh, watch this. I'll snap and then I'll snap again. And
So you hear him snap, nothing, and then again, and then. Little ox
Okay.
deer
I
like,
give her a little bit of food, and then it's like, go say hi to our new friend.
oh, this is the most natural for her. She just lands on his tusk and then just kind of looking towards your mouth, trying to see if there's anything to clean.
What pleasantry. I've never seen something like this before. You're very close.
She's very special to me. I guess she's my familiar from what I've learned.
Oh.
So she's magical, but she's mine and she's special.
Yeah.
And she's a good judge of character.
A familiar, you say, so like of one mind. How brilliant.
Yeah. Then I'll wander off again looking for magical things and leave Pebble.
Gotcha. As you're wandering, no hints of magic. Marb, see invisibility? Wait, you see in the ethereal when this is happening. Okay, let me keep that in mind. Al, you just kind of hear. Marb, you definitely hear. Dragnar is kind of just like, are we just avoiding? Yeah, avoiding, right? And he kind of waves to follow him, and you guys kind of start walking. Marb, as you're kind of keeping see invisibility going, that shimmer of the ethereal here between, you kind of see it, and it's, you're still getting used to like looking through it and everything. Nothing really stands out on you. However, something that you're noticing is on that echo, that reality that kind of echoes and is a little bit different. How do I want to say this? The best way I can explain it is that it's like there's a glow, just kind of like an ambient glow in the entirety of what you're kind of seeing through the ethereal here between. It's almost like there's a blue-green kind of glow wherever you're walking.
Wait, coming off like me where I'm walking, or like all around town everywhere we go?
You know how like if it's like a super foggy day, you can kind of see the fog in the sky around you, like in front of you and everything.
Like an ethereal fog kind of thing?
Yeah, but it's not necessarily dense like a fog. It's just like there is just like it's night, there's streetlights glowing, right? And then there's that fog, and you're just seeing like that weird eerie glow. It's just like there's a glow just everywhere in the ethereal, kind of just because you're seeing simultaneously in the material
real
plane.
and ethereal.
Yeah. So it's just like There's this weird greenish blue glow tint to just almost everything that you're walking through.
Okay.
Just keep that in mind. Yeah, you guys managed to follow Dragnar's skirt around Rock. At this point, your detect magic would have fallen. Marb, kind of leading the group with Dragnar around. You avoid them. Pebbles just, kind of hanging with Sej right now. Kind of jumps up towards like one of his earlobes and kind of just looking in his ear. It's a massive ear. Pebbles, and then kind of just being pleasant. Davis, walking stick, aka Glaive out. You guys eventually make it very quickly, thanks to the great navigation and y'all's perceptions, essentially back to, we'll call it like the outskirts of the center. Really the only activity that you guys are picking up on, just playing, as you just kind of see as darkness is kind of starting to come in, you do avoid like one or two more patrols of, I would say one patrol was 6 individuals with a mix of Faith, Militant, and Ogres, and another one was 4 that were just purely Ogre, just kind of in this area patrolling.
Okay, I'll throw detect magic out on myself again.
Okay.
We can.
As you have detect magic up, Marb, see invisibility is an hour. Remind me. I think it is. I really don't remember right now.
Yep, it's an hour.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you still have the invisibility. So, yeah, Rock, you put on a detect magic. Nothing immediately from your friends, but as you guys kind of start navigating and walking, you walk by essentially one of those boulders. However, it's not a full proper boulder. This boulder must have been chucked and then broken insofar, and you see some of like the stone, like the actual part of the rock is kind of just cracked and fallen. The part that has kind of fallen on one side of it, you start to see this glow kind of coming from the stone.
Okay, I'd investigate that. Take a look at it.
Okay. The group, you see kind of rocks kind of go over towards, the boulder is, let's call it, not a huge one, but not tiny. Let's call it, 7 feet, if it was like, in circumference. So not huge. But this part is also broken. And you see Rock investigating, looking at it. There are a number of glowing symbols on these boulders that, as you kind of look at them, they're not carved into the stone. They are just actually kind of infused or part of the stone. Let me layers.
Hey, Al.
Yeah. And then I'll walk on over.
Cast your detect magic and come look at this with me.
Hold on. I want to see what my normal eyes first.
They just looks like a boulder that has a piece broken off of it.
Really? So this is special. Alrighty then. And I'll cast detect magic.
All right, mark off your spell slot, please. You are seeing a couple, some symbols that look, maybe familiar. Go ahead and give me a, you two, since you guys did so much studying, you guys can give me history checks based off things that you guys have been exposed to recently.
I'd like to lucky that.
Yeah, I figured you would.
19 total for me. Hey!
19. Okay.
Scrolling bros.
That's enough. You've seen these, and Al, these are vaguely familiar, more so in where you've been kind of having to translate those tags notes and things. These are kind of a mesh of glyphs that have an infernal flair to them, but they've been kind of repurposed. And there's another ones that look almost, I guess you would call it in runic script, so either dwarven or giant or just along those types, and they have been kind of put in these boulders or so.
Oh.
You know.
Hey, Rock, does it remind you of some particular scrawlings?
Yeah, but I don't get what they're doing on the rocks.
I'm gonna
Why-
casually say, would some light help, or would that draw too much attention?
It is starting to get kind of dark.
I mean, we're looking at a rock. I don't think that's going to draw too much suspicion. Yeah, light would help, but I'll throw light on my staff.
I'm gonna take my really weirdly ornate dagger out of like a really ornate as well hilt, and
Okay.
I'm gonna cast daylight on the dagger itself, or the scimitar. I mean, it's broken. However, I'm gonna sheath only part of it, or else
Okay.
it'd be a little too bright. So
Okay.
I'm gonna like shine it like a torch, I guess.
So are you casting? Sorry, I don't make sure. Are you casting the light cantrip, or did you mean to say daylight, like the daylight spell?
I was reading them, and I think it would have to be daylight, but I can use the cantrip if that would also work. I guess.
Well, that's why I just wanted to know, because like daylight. This is why I'm trying to help you. So like daylight is
Yeah,
your
please.
beacon of the sun. Like it becomes
not
daylight.
subtle.
In the air.
You're tempting
So
him.
then I'll use light.
Okay, cool. I wasn't sure if you were going for something there. That's why I was like going like, oh, okay. So yeah,
I read both.
So Rock, as you see him for a second, kind of digging through and getting this, that was the thing that he had kind of concealed that was giving off that magic aura as well. And then now he's put the light spell on it. Beautiful, ornate, yet broken and almost. It remind me if we agreed, it's like almost like charred or seared or something like that, right?
Almost the entire blade has been broken off.
Gotcha.
However, the hilt is just fine.
Okay.
And we'll get more into the actual
Yeah,
like light
sure.
thing, but later. But
No worries. Yeah,
that's how it is.
Gotcha. So you see that rock as he's kind of, and that's that other magical source that he had on his person. But now you both have lights, is it visual? You two, now that you have a little bit more light, go ahead and give me investigation checks as you guys. So Rock and Al, or one of you can assist one or the other to give them advantage.
Just for
I have a +2. Are you higher?
I got a +7, so
I'll assist Rock.
for continuity's sake, I'm gonna pull. Just while this is happening, I'm pulling Dragonor and Marb aside for something that we can get around to.
Okay. While they roll, okay, go Davis. Dragonor's like, what Davis?
Oh, I mean, this is like a whole separate thing. If you want to continue with them, but if not, I'll go. I
Okay,
wanted,
I get what
I
you're
just
saying.
wanted to do it
Separate.
continuity-wise. You know that's what I would be doing at this point.
Yep, got it. All right, so we'll come back to that.
Yep.
So go ahead and give me that investigation at advantage.
26 at advantage.
26.
Oh.
You kind of, these symbols, you don't know what they mean, but you do recognize the script, and it's very much like what Al had described to you, and you're just kind of walking around to the other side of the boulder, and then there are more of these now that you're actually, how do I put it? The glow from Detect Magic is not glowing so that you can see it. So the light does actually help reveal, so your eyes can actually pick up on the runes and the glyphs that are on this, because you don't have dark vision. And you see it, and then there are a smattering of those 7 was a hooks. It's almost like a ring around. So there's all these symbols on one side that have kind of fallen off, and then kind of like, I guess you would say, like around the equator of this boulder, 7 hook, 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 all over.
Nope. Now, when you say boulder, like, am I talking something too big for us to pick up? And
We're talking. It's too big for you. It's like 7 feet in circumference, so thousands of pounds.
hey, Davis, or Dregnar, or both. Can you smash this rock?
We're supposed to be quiet and stuff right now, right? I mean,
I just
Yeah.
don't. It's got magic runes on it. I want to know what happens if we disrupt it. Can I scratch? Can I like scratch at the runes and see if it messes it up?
You scratch it with your claw. You just got. You're just scratching on stone. They're not etched into the boulder. They're just kind of magically apparated around it and on it.
I don't.
Did you say it was damaged or it looked like it was being picked at?
So there is damage. So when I'll paint the picture. This thing was thrown. Apparently, that's what it looks like because you're kind of looking at the. You guys made a good enough investigation. Like Watt can see, this thing was thrown. It hit the ground. It skidded, and part of it, because it's a stone, still broke off.
Is the ring of fish hooks unbroken, or is there any kind
Ring
of?
of fish hooks. Yeah, it's essentially where the break is. It's still just like Al. You look now that you see it, and you see the break kind of breaks, and the fish hooks are still just kind of floating where the rock would have been in that place where it's broken. So,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Oh,
I'll call Rock over for that. Look at this.
okay. Smashing no good.
They're floating. Oh.
Abort the smash. Abort the smash. Sorry,
Got
sorry, Davis.
Yeah.
Uh,
However, the other ones, like these, where you see these 4 other symbols that I kind of put on, these are just kind of examples. Use your imagination, have fun with them. These were like they were part more on the stone, and where the stone had fallen, they seem to be more affixed. It's the 7 with the hooks that don't seem to be completely affixed to the stone.
I'm gonna quickly sketch all the symbols as I see them into my little. I have other drawings and stuff. I have some sort of sketchbook or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, you're a mage. Or you're a wizard. You have your spell book. You have scrawlings. You have inks. You have chalks. You have coals. Easy enough.
I'm just gonna sketch them all so we can show them to someone maybe. Al, what do you think of this? Like they threw magic boulders into the town.
I don't. I feel like a boulder does enough damage as is. I don't know if who. I don't know if multiple people were involved in putting the runes on this. One thing that's really drawn my attention is the stuff we used to read was kind of infernal, kind of druidic, and Kalasar helped us with those. But these other runes, they're I don't know, dwarf, giant. It's one of those. I'm not very familiar.
I can.
Look at how angular that is. That's not druidic at all. I don't
If
know
we
who's
want,
involved in this.
if we want to sit for 10 minutes, I can do a comprehend languages on it, but then I won't see it anymore. I'll lose my. This is frustrating. Well, I have sketches of it,
Feel
so
like, if you have enough room on that, I can help you sketch. Draw on one page, draw on the other.
yeah, we'll work on that together.
All right, Saj, what's up?
Yeah.
Can I is this something that I could smell? Can I
Is this something you can what?
smell it? Like the rune itself? Weird question, but
yeah. No, I would say I kind of know what you're maybe getting at. I would say probably not. This is just magic.
it's just magic.
Yeah, it's not like if this was like, I'll give you an example. I would say something along the lines of, yes, if you saw like it was like burnt in with it, maybe acid, or there was like a sulfurous fire tint to it, then maybe that would help. But you don't see these symbols. You just see them looking at a broken boulder and talking about symbols that you can't see right now. So, and I guess, yeah. So no, your smell would not help. You hear the discussion though.
Yeah, I'm passively listening on, but shining my light, doing my part. Kind of giving like my own thoughts in my own headspace, but I'm not really interrupting them, basically.
Yeah. All right. Real quick, while you guys are doing your sketchy sketch, because I don't want to interrupt. I'm going to interrupt y'all and see. All right. So Davis, Marb, and Dregnar. At one point, Rock called you over to smash, then canceled. Davis, you pulled the group to the side. What did you want to do?
I said, hey, so, I mean, we're not trying to go in stealthy again, right? We're just going in, but we need to have some sort of plan, right? I have an idea, but I wanted to run it by you guys, in case we get noticed by some people. Then we needed to have like a story.
Yeah, go ahead, Davis.
So, I mean, this we'll get his permission, but like we could just say, hey, we found this guy here who clearly doesn't, believe within the mother bounties. He's got some weird pagan sun thingy, and we wanted to take him to see, convert him to the right way. Who do we, where do we take him, and just kind of figure that out, Is that too risky? I don't know. And I mean, obviously, again, we'll ask if he wants to do that, but.
Risky, yes, but
Well, you're not
it
here.
seems to
we're,
me.
we're talking.
Oh,
Yeah, we're
I'm
talking.
sorry, I thought we were all together.
You're focusing on the boulder with the boys.
I specifically am like pulled away just so that like talk about it first before we screw you over.
I totally airheaded that part. My bad.
No worries.
Good. Dragnar will basically say the same thing. It's risky. We're trusting him to.
I mean, we need something, right? We can't just like if we just walking around and then some pack of assholes says like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" We need to have an answer other than just like, "Oh, just walking," because then they'll say, "We'll get the fuck out of here,"
The only I mean, Phoebus plays along with it great. Problem is we don't necessarily look like we're from town. We left our.
Yeah, so we could just say we were out of town. We were. We used to do some side jobs for the Adventurers League, although we were just, loosely affiliated. But once we heard the glory of the Mother of Bounties had finally taken over the town, we could say, like, finally, let's help round up the people who are, doing her wrong. And here's one of them right now.
It's because I wrote the Dragnar. He'll say, maybe rather than say, we should say we didn't fight against them, because they might still have something against.
Yeah. We weren't even here. We just got here like a day or two ago.
Okay. But how did we get in? They're not letting people in.
I mean, we could kind of say we snuck in just to, because we're really good at that. Yeah, like we're just really good. We got in through their stuff. They just didn't even know.
Okay.
We're that good.
We're from another chapter of the Mother of Bounty, from a different city.
Oh, do they have multiple chapters? Yeah, that could work.
And we're just here to help these group of people. Just whatever chapter is happening, because we love the bounty to y'all and all of that.
I love the way you say that. To the bounty of y'all. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, we need something.
Look, here's the plan. We'll talk our way out of it as convincingly as possible. And if not, then, stabby stab here, stabby stab there. Pull them into a house, set the house on fire. Classic accident.
I know, when you're good at something, keep doing it, but it's like, we don't want to start something we can't finish. And I don't know if we start that.
I think it's a little too late for that when we kill the two giants in town.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think the fact that there's a mob going around looking for whatever caused that ruckus tells us that unless we all get magically transformed by Al,
I don't think
we're
that's
one of the clear top candidates for suspicious people.
I don't think he.
Did I hear my name from 200 feet away?
Not 200 feet away, but probably not. Yeah, I don't think that's something that he can do to others. At least I've never seen him do it to anybody else.
I think the best chance we have is to try to catch that dumb orc guard going around that we can bamboozle. But worse comes to worse, we got a good friend, Sej, over there to.
I mean, he said he was willing to be bait, right? So.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Look, I mean, we've met great people there on our trip, but I'm not one to trust nice looking, peace loving Loxodon.
Yep.
Ooh, awesome. Loxodon out of nowhere. So maybe we get spicy in a little bit of a dangerous situation and we push Sesh towards the guards and maybe he'll obliterate them. Maybe he'll get obliterated.
Yeah,
But anyway, for us,
he said he could handle himself. I'm curious as to what that
I know, I'm
means.
curious too. So either way, if things get a little bit spicy, we'll have a chance to see what he's up all about. And then
All right, I will say, Mark,
if he can cat it with the menagerie, then
if you're gonna go in, we need to have like some sort of signal or something like that. But like, try to not like some word we said. What was it, like popcorn or something? Well, I don't know. What we said something that was like to know it's on.
that's maybe okay. If you hear me say, "Can I have a minute to tie my shoe up?" or something really obvious, that's the
So
signal.
anything shoe related, we'll just go with shoes.
Exactly.
You know, I
If
don't
I
think,
say something about
do you-
shoes, it means like
do
in the
you,
next second we're gonna go crazy and murder everyone around. Deal?
do you actually wear shoes? I
Ragnar, I'm
thought you just
looking
like
at you
wrapped your.
because you're always the one that jumps the gun.
Shoes. Got it. Shoes equal kill.
Murder. Yeah. Sweet.
But
Davis,
again-
I'm looking at you to give us a front hold.
Last resort, like that's plan J after like a bunch of other plans before it.
Sure. It might be more like a plan C and a half, but
Wait,
sure.
there's this. Huh. Okay.
exactly. Dragnar will kind of be like, all right. I wonder what.
Yeah,
The
what were
other
they
one-
asking me to smash? Like, what the hell is going on?
Maybe they're thinking. Maybe they figure something out. Jumping back to Al, Sej, and Rock.
Hey, hey, Saj.
Yes.
Hey, do you have any sort of abilities to like remove magic, spell magic, like or do you what do you know about magic?
I'm pretty partial to the presence of magic, but I have nothing to disperse of it, as you were. No, I don't.
Do you recognize these symbols? And I'll show them the scrawling to me now.
Okay, yeah, you see essentially these whatever symbols he drew, but kind of inspired by these five. You do see the fish, the seven with the hook on it, and then there's some other ones. Go ahead. What languages do you know? Go ahead and you can give me a history check to see if any of the symbols possibly look like something you've seen before, Saj.
Yeah. I forgot to pop out my own character sheet. I'm sorry. There we go.
Eight.
Yeah, no.
Definitely not in the script. Like you don't really recognize it. They look like symbols. Some of them seem to be more, straight and sharp in nature. That's about it.
This is the same symbol that I was perceptive enough to find earlier, as they were.
This one you
just
recognize,
like-
yes.
Yeah.
But now you're seeing that there's a bunch of other ones that they're showing you.
Ah. No, I'm not too privy of this. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, I guess there's nothing else. I mean, it's the boulder's not going to do anything anyway. I don't think we can get rid of it. Well, I can study this later. Unless you have any other ideas, Al?
Not really. I just want to. Maybe if we see some other boulders that are of this scale, we should take a look at those too if we get a chance. See if anything's different. See if these fishhook sevens are on all of them. I don't know.
It's definitely weird. Magic boulders. Like, and it's
I didn't accept this coming. I remember reading about it was like ore, magic ore, maybe just rare ores. But this is straight magic.
well, we have some of
Oh.
that salty ore, which they that we found. That's kind of magic ore, right? But that's not this. These are just I don't know.
It was something else for sure.
Yes, let's see. What was your investigation, Rock? 26?
I think I heard 26.
They're over 19 plus.
Yeah, 26. Go ahead and give me. No, I'll just give it to you. Yeah, I'll give it to you. So as you're kind of saying that, and you're kind of looking through it, and you're having this discussion, there's where the boulder is cracked, you see a little bit of green crystalline ore or something.
Can I chip it out with a dagger? Is it like really in there? Or can I?
It's like a chunk that's maybe part of it, but you see like the surface of it. You can kind of get your dagger and maybe like kind of scrape at it and get a little bit of the dusting off of it, and a little piece will kind of come off, maybe about the size of like your thumbnail. A ding ding ding, solving.
Yeah. Okay. Well, found some salty. Yeah. We gotta find out what this door is good for. Yeah,
Curious, is it
going on.
glowing?
I think we've been standing in this spot for too long, though. I'm gonna put my light out and say we should move on before we notice it.
Actually, overheard Sej. Is it reacting? Are you seeing anything like magic on the ore?
Detect magic gives it's not really, it does glow just a hair. It's not really detectable what type of magic it is. Saj, it does not glow like in the light, but it's like what do you call it? It's like when you have a gemstone in a rock and the gem is not polished. However, you can kind of see that the light kind of acts and reflects kind of off of it. So it's like a very dull, matted looking greenish. Best example I can give you is kind of like an emerald meets ore kind of looking stone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's just kind of it was inside of this ore. So as you guys are having your separate discussions, and then you guys kind of turn, and Rock, you've managed to kind of chip away at the rock and chip away at the boulder. You'll hear. Actually, all of you are kind of distracted in your discussions. Some heavier footsteps will kind of just become audible, and you guys kind of start looking, kind of look at each other. All 6 of you look towards each other and look, and then you see long shadows being cast coming towards you guys, to the point where you have just a brief moment to react. What do you guys want to do? Just shadows kind of walking.
Leave that area. Is
Yeah.
that an option?
I'm gonna
Certainly
shoot
try.
my blade so it's not not beaming this weird light.
All right, so I would say you basically, and this turn is not a turn order, but you basically have like a turn or two to figure out what you're doing. Right? So one says your action is to sheathe your blade. Got it.
I throw up a fog cloud and just, guys, we should go. Move time. Go, go, go.
Interesting. Okay. Go ahead and mark up those spell slot. Fog. Just around you guys in general, or like?
In between. Oh, did I unmute or mute? Oh, okay. In between, like where they are, so it'll be kind of like in between us, obscuring us.
Gotcha.
And then I'll start walking in the opposite direction.
You'll just hear this. Well, ain't that the thickest fog? That doesn't mean. Why is there fog? Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Do I recognize the voice?
You can give me a history check, I guess.
23.
Nope, don't recognize the voice.
Yeah, let's go, boys.
All right. So you guys kind of group up, taking what you can. All of you go ahead and, because you're trying to break tracks, go ahead, all of you, and give me a stealth check with advantage because the fog cloud is blocking.
I rolled 2 11. Oh, 11.
Okay. Whoa!
I got a nat 20. I'm invisible.
Marb walks into the cloud, just kills all 6 of them real quick, steps out. No. Yeah.
Classic Tuesday.
Yeah. So yeah, Sej also natural 20. Okay. Davis. And Dragnar.
I rolled his.
Oh, you did? Which
Yeah,
one?
he got a 21.
Okay, got it. Okay. Thank you. So Fog Cloud immerses. You know,
Oh wait,
you guys hear,
sorry, mine's actually a straight roll. I rolled at disadvantage, but you said it's advantage, so it's just a straight roll, right?
yes, you
Okay,
can reroll.
I'll re-roll then. It's not great. 8.
Okay, so total of 8.
Total of 8. Yeah, 6 plus 2.
Have your armor on, so you can roll it one more time.
All right, I keep forgetting
Better
about
roll.
that. Total of 10. Yay.
I made it a little better. So yeah, Fog Cloud comes. Rock's like, okay, let's go. You guys, you know, Marb, you instinctively, you know how to Sesh? Quick, must go quick.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I was that lucky with my stealth roll, but hey.
5% chance for every time.
Yeah, the fog cloud. The rest of the group kind of disperses, and you guys kind of, you know, do your best to just get away from the boulder. Use the boulder to break your line of sight even more, and then just kind of turn in one direction, kind of following Marb. Marb, as you're looking back, just kind of did in a head count because you have so instinctively, everyone's with you. You didn't make a lot of sound. I'll just give you a free perception check. You hear them like thick fog. You see him kind of step. Weird. I got my dice. I need to. Gotta do one more person. I forgot one. Okay. They seemingly let's just keep going, and I just gonna keep moving. I could have sworn I heard some voices. Me no hear it. And then they just keep kind of walking by. Yeah, apparently you guys managed to give them the slip.
Nice.
And we'll take
Got him. Good smoke bomb. Rock.
Right. Unless if anyone has anything that they want to do real quick, we'll go ahead and take our first break. It's 9:33.
Oh, just throw out a real quick. Says you're natural at this. You're really quiet. Is it the hooves? Is it the flat feet? And then now I'll try
myself,
like stepping
honestly.
differently.
I go up to Davis and say, like, did you check the nerfs that's still on our elephant friend? Like, I went like Super Saiyan invisible, but he was right there with me.
I mean, I couldn't see much.
What do you say we like bump into like a couple of guards on purpose and be like, whoa, my friend told me like he slept with your mom or something, and let's see what he's up.
What he's all about it.
I'm not too practiced in the way of stealth, but I just followed him.
Oh shit, he can hear me.
Oh shit.
Oh, never mind. He's a great guy. No one slept with your mom. What?
Port.
I would say, real quick, Marb, I will say, because you did get to look back, you basically see kind of a group like this kind of patrolling. Some ogres, some faith militant, some peasant, you know.
Break time?
Break time.